In this tutorial, you're going to learn a few key phrases and words to complete the objective of buying a ticket in a bus station. This could also be used in the context of a train station. Um, as for keywords and key phrases, you have a few here. You could pause this tutorial and just test yourself. Just check whether you know any of these already. And once you have already tried to think of the equivalent phrase in English, you may want to carry on listening. I'm just going to read out the phrases and words and give you the translation. Un billete de ida. That's a single ticket. Un billete de ida y vuelta. That's a return ticket. Un billete para is usually used with time. And expressions of time could be, for example, mañana. So a phrase such as un billete para mañana would mean a ticket for tomorrow. Un billete para pasado mañana. Un billete para el lunes. Un billete para el martes por la tarde. Un billete para el miércoles 11 de diciembre. So you could use different days of the week. These are important words to learn, not only lunes and martes, which mean Monday and Tuesday. When you have un billete para pasado mañana, that means for the day after tomorrow. You could indicate when in the day by saying things such as el martes por la tarde, a ticket for Tuesday in the afternoon. And you could be very precise by giving a particular date you're interested about. And that is also potentially introducing months of the year, such as un billete para el miércoles 11 de diciembre. So one ticket for Wednesday, the 11th of December. You can also say un billete para plus destination. For example, un billete para Madrid. But of course, that would change depending on where you're heading to. But para is quite a useful connector. Cuando llega is a typical question you could be asking to mean when does it arrive. Cuando sale, you may need that phrase. You may not need it. Maybe you're aware of the timetable, so you don't need to ask these questions. But if you need it, this phrase, it means when does it leave. Cuando sale. Cuánto tarda is how long does it take. Cuánto cuesta is how much is it. And then you could always check whether you can pay with your credit card by asking, ¿puedo pagar con tarjeta? So it is worth practicing these phrases. You may want to go back and just hear again the phrases read out to you, and then you can just pause and repeat in order to practice your pronunciation. As for the different ways you can indicate time, of course, as I mentioned before, the months of the year, the days of the week are going to be very useful. So just to remind you of the days of the week and the months of the year, I'll go through these different summaries you have here. So I start with the months of the year, and that is enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. So you could start first saying para diciembre, once you indicate you want a ticket. So you could say un billete de ida para diciembre, para el 12 de diciembre would be a good idea. With the days of the week, let's go through the whole lot. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. You could say, therefore, un billete de ida para el martes 2 de enero por la tarde. So you could combine a string of indications of time for your request. And it will be down to you to choose which ones to combine. Depends on when you want to get that ticket for. Another important dimension to indicate in time is indicating the time at which the train or the bus is going or you want the ticket for. So instead of going for the 12-hour clock approach, the usual thing is to go for the 20-hour clock approach. And here you can see what it means. Instead of saying things such as a la una en punto, you will have to say things such as a las 13 horas. The 12 o'clock approach would read a las 3:30, but for the same time, in the 24 o'clock approach, you will have to say a las 15:30. And instead of saying a las 5 menos cuarto, you will have to read that time as a las 4:45, or if it was later in the day, a las 16:45. So this is something to bear in mind, because it does signal that you understand that this is actually a way to go when it comes to giving the time at which you want your ticket. Let's move on to a dialogue that could typically encapsulate some of these phrases and get you to express what you want. You have some things missing in this dialogue, and your activity, your task here, is to try to listen to the recording and complete the information that is missing. So again, you can just keep on this slide and just listen to the recording, and then you can check later with the next slide that comes after this.
Hola, buenos días. Un billete para Segovia, por favor.
Buenos días. ¿Cuándo quiere viajar?
Esta tarde, en el bus de las 14:35, por favor.
Lo siento, ya está completo. Tiene otro a las 17:45.
¿Y cuándo llega?
Llega a las 20:15.
Bien, pues el de las 17:45.
¿De ida o de ida y vuelta?
De ida. ¿Puedo pagar con tarjeta?
Sí, claro. Aquí tiene su billete. Buen viaje.
Muchas gracias. Adiós.
De nada. Adiós.
Here you have all the phrases completed, and I'm just going to go through them again quickly so that you have a chance to just revisit the dialogue. Hola, buenos días. Un billete para Segovia, por favor. Buenos días. ¿Cuándo quiere viajar? Esta tarde en el bus de las 14:35, por favor. Bus es una forma, it's a short form of saying autobús. You can say both, bus or autobús. Lo siento, ya está completo. So it's already full. Tiene otro a las 17:45. You have another one at that time. ¿Y cuándo llega? And when does this arrive? Llega a las 20:15. So it gets there at that time. Bien, pues el de las 17:40. Well, then, and this is a taking time phrase that you can use whenever you are making a decision after you get some information. That would be good to introduce into your way of answering this situation or addressing this point. It's quite important to say bien, pues, and then introduce the information that signals the ticket you want. Bien, pues el de las 17:40. ¿De ida o de ida y vuelta? De ida. ¿Puedo pagar con tarjeta? Sí, claro. Aquí tiene su billete. Buen viaje. Sí, claro would be a way to indicate yes, of course. There are other ways one could say very similar phrase would be por supuesto, which also means of course. Aquí tiene su billete. Aquí tiene is something you can always use when you are transferring an object from one hand to another, so from one person to another. It could be money, it could be, in this case, a ticket. In the context of shopping, it could be an object that you are given by the shopkeeper. It could be fruit or a bag of something. Muchas gracias. Adiós. De nada. Adiós. Here in the second task, you have an opportunity to consider all the key phrases for you to work out how to maneuver a situation where you want a ticket. Your starting point is Valencia in Spain. You can see there the autonomous region of Valencia marked in red. And somewhere in Valencia, there's another place called Denia. And you could be in a situation where you want to buy a ticket to go from Valencia to Denia. So let's look at the timetable. You have a bus timetable here, And it is down to you to decide what ticket, for what time you want the ticket and when you want that ticket for. So you can see that there are different words at the very top in the blue section. Origen means origin, so that's the starting point, the point of departure. Destino is destination. Salida is departure. Llegada is arrival. Duración is duration, or the time it takes. Precio ida, so this is the single ticket price. Precio ida y vuelta. In the situation where you are putting a dialogue together, you could always include a moment where you get to know how much the ticket is. It is up to you. It is not necessary, but it is probably something you can remember from other activities you have done previously. So there is an indication of time, as you can see, in different ways. The time of departure and the times of arrival, the time it takes to get from point A to point B. And then numbers are important in terms of prices, so it's worth revisiting numbers just for the sake of being prepared to say, understand prices. Once you have already decided what type of ticket you want and at what time, you could then go back to the dialogue we have seen before, and I've signaled the spaces where things could change, and therefore that's where you have to be thinking of adding your own destination, the times that are relevant for you, and so on. There could be other variations to the dialogue, but you could have this as your starting point. And if you do that, you will be very much able to go through this activity successfully and achieve your objective. So I hope this helps, and I'm happy to answer any questions or any comments. You can just let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much.